And we're back with another episode of the His and Hers, the Truth podcast. This is my lovely wife.
Sim, great seeing everyone again, and welcome to our channel of...
Yes, and my name is Twan. Guys, hey, while you're here, please subscribe to the channel. Come on.
Yes.
Let's try to get our subscription to 1,500.
Yes.
Right, by the end of the summer or close to the summer, guys. That would be awesome. Plus, smash that like button, right?
Yes.
I've noticed recently, honey, that our algorithm has been getting pushed back. Sure, the truth that we've been talking about a lot has been getting suppressed. So, guys, if you can do us a huge solid, just continue pushing our content out there, share the truth, because I'm hoping that it's going to help our Asian brothers and our Asian sisters, but specifically our Asian brothers, who are struggling in the dating market right now. We talk about all the time, guys, right? Self-deletion stats, percentage of swipes on dating apps, right, were the lowest. So things like that, guys. Hey, and at the end, of course, please share and comment as well. Obviously, the comments will help push up our content as well. So please do that. And of course, we love all your guys' comments. So thank you. Guys, today's video, we're going to continue the reaction from our most recent reaction video, okay? But before I get into it, go check out our lives that we've just recently had. We just finished part 2 of the local Asian navigating the dating scene. A lot of good content in there, guys. Like I told you guys, we're all having to do this. If you think our Asian culture is helping us navigate this current market, it is not. And so we touch upon a lot of those topics with our great guests that appeared on that podcast. So guys, go check it out. I think it's going to have similar experiences to what you guys are dealing with out there. And hopefully that'll help you guys out. Okay. But without further ado, this is going to be part 2 of how to date an Asian woman. All right, let's begin.
If you guys need it, I will do a full video about this. Just write the word pancakes in the comments so I know if there's any interest. Southeast Asian culture can be a little bit complex. You most likely know that many countries follow Buddhism, but some countries such as the Philippines are predominantly Catholic. This, however, doesn't really have an impact on dating so much. But there are some viewpoints that Asian women are very innocent and traditional, and this isn't always the case. Of course, some can be, especially if you're living in the provinces. You will find that there are many traditional beliefs, but most major cities, you will find that the single ladies are very modern and possess a lot of Western beliefs. In fact, many Asian countries are a lot more relaxed in some regards than Western countries. But having said this, what I noticed a lot is that many Asian women are very concerned about how they are viewed by the wider society. Some locals will judge other locals if they're dating a Western guy. On top of this, some ladies are naturally shy when it comes to dating foreigners. To try and articulate this the best way I can, I would say that you will find many single women have their culture and traditions subconsciously, but Western and modern viewpoints occupy their conscious mind. This is the best way that I can describe it.
Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. Okay, guys, so
true.
So once again, the context is obviously a foreigner, right? And Western one, white, black, right? But non-Asian foreigner dating Asian women in the culture, the tradition, right? In the actual homeland, not Westernized Asian women. But like you notice, he said from his knowledge, from his experience, that even though they have traditional culture brought up in that sense, they are still modern, unless of course you go into the provinces. And what that means is you're talking about going into the countryside. Why you think that is, honey? I wanted to touch on that first.
Because if you go to the countryside, most of the time, they're not they have to work a lot and stuff, so they don't have time to try to look through everything else.
I'm thinking one more thing though, a different thing that's a little bit more related.
The parents are out there, so they're not trying to be influenced, through the media and all that stuff. So they're still keeping the culture.
No, I mean historically
tied down.
Historically, and even a Western society, we talked about this on the podcast, the live podcast, but we talk about single mother households. Asians are still statistically a nuclear family. So only 15% of Asian households, even in America, is a single family.
Yeah.
Single mother household. So the majority of Asian households are still nuclear family, meaning mom and dad. And I can only imagine that in the homeland, I guarantee you that stat is even lower. So I would say probably 90 to 95% of Asian households in the homeland are probably nuclear family. So what do you think causes that modernized, westernized influence?
What do you think? Media and all the social stuff. Yeah.
And
Going around.
Yes, bam. So the thing about the countryside Asian women, they don't have the electronic devices.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Right. Well, you were talking about, family and obviously culture and work, but no, it's about, unfortunately, social media, right? That's what we talk about all the time. And problem is because social media is accessible to everyone now that has a device. And just because you're living in the homeland, you can still have a phone, you can still get TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yep.
So that's why the Asian women, even in these traditional cultures, and like he was saying, even though they're shamed because the culture for the most part is still relatively traditional, they're still heavily influenced by social media and everything they're seeing in the Western world.
Well, the surroundings,
right?
yeah.
And so, like I was trying to warn you guys, right? The Passport Bros, right? This was kind of the title of this part one, is that even though you think you're going to get better outcomes over there, you have to remember that women by nature is still hypergamous. And so when they have access to this information, when they have access now because of their electronic devices to the top tier men, women are still going to be women. So, hey, like I tell you guys, I don't shame on Passport Bros. I'm not trying to say don't be a Passport Bro. I'm just trying to warn you guys that, hey, women are the same regardless. So what you can do is obviously take the truth, take the knowledge, and adapt, right? So if you know that, then you're going to have to try to find a woman that is more, unfortunately, in the countryside, right? Shied away from electronic devices. But what are you gonna do? Are you gonna just keep her there?
No.
Are you gonna take her to the city? Are you gonna bring her back to America or wherever Western? If you do that,
they're gonna be influenced.
Yeah, she's just gonna be influenced again.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you take them or meet them. It's a person itself too. I mean, if the woman that you're taking a chance with, and you have to read how she is and whatever else, you can tell from a person. From the way their body language, the way they act, and whatever else. If you're gonna meet a girl in the city, hey, grass isn't greener on the other side. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, it's gonna be the same.
The point, my wife is 100% correct. Just because you meet a country girl and now she's not influenced yet by social media, as soon as she gets that influence, that hardwiring, that biological hardwiring, is still there, guys.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, you know the truth. You choose your options, right? Make sure you understand that. And don't be naive to think, oh, it's just, I found such a different woman over there.
First of all, watch the energy. Like I mentioned, if you go to one of the popular cities or areas, it can be a bit of a culture shock. Remember, there is no rush. You will meet single women everywhere. Leaving your condo, you will meet many ladies. Getting a coffee, you will meet many ladies. Going to the park, you get the point. If you are in a more remote area or an area where English is not widely spoken, then online dating can come in handy. But meeting a person tends to be the best option for most situations. So let's say that you meet a nice girl and things are going well. What about getting to that next level, physically speaking? Unless you're dating a traditional woman, getting to that next level happens relatively quickly. But trust me, if this doesn't happen, don't worry, as it can be a blessing in disguise. If you've watched similar videos, you will know that a lot of YouTubers like myself tell people to take their time with dating, especially if you're dating in Thailand, Philippines, etc. There are many reasons behind this, but one of the big ones is that there are a lot of very beautiful women out there who are not stable. So taking your time is not really a bad thing. If you're looking for a serious relationship, it's always a good idea to to share your intentions, but not too much. I made this mistake recently. I met this lady who is super beautiful and friendly, and I told her that I was looking for a long-term girlfriend and to settle down. After a few weeks, I got to know her more and more, and I realized that we're just not right together. Nothing personal, but it's just not the right fit. And this is the thing. Sometimes it takes a while to know if things are right, but because dating moves so quickly in the Philippines and Cambodia and Thailand and basically most parts of Asia, you have to try to pace yourself the best way you can, because if not, you'll find that you'll end up in a relationship in a matter of weeks sometimes. So looking back, it would have been better not to have sounded so keen. Another big part of dating an Asian
Okay, honey, what do you think about that? Because I have mixed thoughts on that, but I definitely have good advice on that. So he was saying, hey, just take your time, be careful, don't try to reveal your intentions too much, right? Because obviously you can move around, like obviously the relationship can happen so fast if you make your intentions clear that you might not be in the situation that you want to be.
Well, yeah, because the girl, especially if you're going to Asia, a third world country, right? And if you're saying, okay, well, I want something long term or looking for a wife, they're going to try to act like, all nicey and dandy and everything else. But later realities will kick in. Her true colors will come out,
Yeah. So actually, I wanted to talk about this because they kind of had mentioned that in the first reaction that we reacted to. And what it is that a lot of women in traditional cultures, and obviously Asian women in particular, right?
Yep.
They understand the goal of a relationship, right? And so you can call them gold diggers or not. I personally think they're not gold diggers in the westernized sense of gold digging, but they understand that, hey, I want to be able to have someone take away from this rural situation, right? Like I'm in a poor situation, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to attract this man who has finances to get me out of the situation. Yeah. And so if you're not careful as a passport bro, and this is the other thing about a lot of passport bros, another warning for all you guys, right? Is because you are so jaded with the Western women, right? And because, for lack of better words, you're so thirsty for women's sex, for women's freaking, love and attention. You're going to go there. And now you have all these women, like he said on the first video we did, he got 100 DMs, right, in his profile, right? And so you got to be careful because, like, you're starving and now you have all this food being thrown at you. Yep. You got to be careful not to eat the first food and just fall for that first food, right? And then this is another thing we talk about in the RP community all the time is being honest with women. Yeah. Even traditional women, and even obviously women who might value your value for their value, sometimes being too honest can give them the wrong thing, right? I think another thing that we have to talk about in the RP community is the reason why we're, quote unquote, not dishonest to women, but we don't say the whole truth to women is because sometimes as leaders, right, you don't have, the person following you doesn't have to know everything that's going on. Yeah. Right. I'll give you a prime example between my wife and I, right? Yeah. I deal with a lot of stress in my business, right? That's pretty much what my day-to-day sources is. Do I have to tell my wife everything I'm dealing with? No. Right? Like maybe I have to tell her, hey, like the overall just kind of guideline, like, hey, but honey, I'm dealing with, something. I got to take care of it. But do I really want to tell her like, oh, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on? No, it's only going to create more stress for her. She's going to start questioning my competency and my leadership skills if I'm complaining about it. Yeah. Right? And so I think it's very wise for men to steer and not be dishonest to women, but don't tell them the whole truth and the majority of the truth, right? Just try to tell them no that, hey, this is what we're doing and this is my intention, but this is not my, you don't have to tell them details, right? So, for example, in this case, he could have told a lady like, hey, yeah, I'm looking to date, I do want to, have someone serious, but I'm just still looking, I'm still playing your field, right? He didn't have to say, oh, yeah, I'm looking for someone to take serious right away. Settle
down and whatever else.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about too was that a lot of these women, he said, in the cities, right, because they are shamed and they have traditional upbringing, but they listen to the modernized social media thing. Asian brothers, we talk about this a lot between ourselves. Why do Asian women typically don't want to date us? And that is why, because they think of us, and it's true to an sense, because I keep warning my Asian brothers out there, you gotta stop clinging to the traditional values and thinking that if you just become a traditional Asian man, listen to the family, listen to the culture, that you're going to find an Asian woman at the end of that. Asian women have progressed.
Nope.
Whether bad or good, they have changed to the modernized society. Right? And so if you cling on to that traditional upbringing, they're going to look at you as, oh, this is the culture that was shaming me to be modern, be outspoken, you know, have my career, go to school, right? Maybe be a little bit more promiscuous than what I was, you know, told to do. So that's the reason why a lot of Asian women like says, oh, when I date my, you know, an Asian guy, I think of him as my dad or my brother. Right? They're trying to say that in a nice way so that way, you know, it masses really their intention. But what it is they're trying to tell you, hey, you're just too, for lack of better words, traditional.
Mommy's boy.
Yeah, you're mama, daddy's boy. You're too Asian. You're going to be all these words that they talk about, right? Controlling, right? You're going to be misogynistic because you hold on to those traditional values.
Voterish.
Correct. So
you don't want to be those.
You got to know the game.
No.
You got to understand what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Woman is that if you're planning to live somewhere full time, date one woman at a time. I've spoken before on this channel about some private groups of women who talk about foreigners. Thailand has this a lot. There are groups of Thai women made up of 100,000 women or more, and usually these are found on Facebook, and they talk about dating foreigners. They share photos and messages in the group and sometimes Tinder profiles and stuff like that, so it's something to be aware of. Now, as far as I'm aware, this is because there's a lot of cheating going on, all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure it has good intentions. But it's worth mentioning because life's hard enough and you don't want to get mixed up in all that kind of stuff, and you definitely don't need any more drama going on. The key takeaway today is to go with your gut. If there are any red flags, you will often see them a mile away. Try to stop that in for a penny, in for a pound attitude. If it's not working, then stop. There are so many decent single women out there. All are different, have different mindsets, different beliefs. So don't waste your time on something you know it's not right, as there are so many other potentials out there. Hey dude, you stayed to the end of the video.
Okay, so that was the end of the video, honey. But what do you think about that last part of, you know, what he's saying? Hey, don't, you know, date one woman at a time. Don't go overboard, which I think is good advice in a way, but I'll put my thoughts. And then, of course, you know, obviously, you know, vet, right? Make sure you're looking at all, because there's so many women out there. What do you think about that?
Well, that's true. I mean, when you meet people, don't rush into things. That's what he's trying to say, and be careful, you know, because you don't know if when you rush into things, your head gets muddy, you know, and then you react so quick, but then you might be stuck into something more negative than positive. So get to know a person, just like when you're going dating, you know, take time, get to know the person before you commit to them. Same thing here into play.
Yeah, no. You know? So guys, once again, this is directed toward Asian, you know, passport bros, but obviously foreigners dating, right? Passport bros. So whether you're Asian, white, or black, right? The key is that they're looking for a westernized man. Okay, so first thing for my Asian brothers, if you're thinking about being a passport bro, don't go into the homeland as a stereotypical Asian. Because what did I just say? They're going to look at you as the Asian guys that literally they're being raised around or grew up with. They're not looking at that as worthwhile, right? And if they are, let's say you go to the countryside and meet a girl that is more traditional than the city girl, right? She's gonna want your money. She's gonna want you to take her over. She's gonna want you to raise her family, right? Bring her family. Hey guys, that's the game. It's no hating on her, but hey, she's trying to uplift herself from poverty, right? And so if you're the traditional Asian guy that comes over and says, "Oh no, I just want the girl,"
it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. They're gonna try to get everyone over there, right? Okay. So once again, be a Western modern Asian man going into there. You're gonna have a lot more luck. And why I say that is because now instead of having just the traditional Asian pool from the countryside, you can also attract the city girl as well too,
Yeah.
right? Because the city girls aren't going to look at your way if you're just a nerdy, short, socially awkward dude. You better get your ass in shape. You better show that you have finances, right?
Yep.
Dress nice, smell nice, have nice hair, wear nice things, maybe have a nice place over there, right?
Yeah.
Don't be cheap, right? That type of stuff, okay? To an extent, of course, right?
Yep.
And then the second thing I will say is, yes, like my wife said, you're going to a buffet now, right? Versus before you were barely getting scraps off of the table,
Yeah.
right? So don't go crazy and just gorge on the
in.
first thing and take the first thing that, oh my God, this chicken looks so good. I'm going to just
Yeah.
stick with this chicken, right?
Nope.
Part of a man's journey, and trust me, it can go other way, but I would recommend this alternative. Yeah, you might get lucky and find the love of your life on the first shot, right?
Yep.
But the truth of the matter is, in this day and age, you need to have experience, right? You need to navigate, different women, different personalities. Obviously, have a good intention and purpose on mind, right? Because if you're just a player, you're gonna have player outcomes,
Yes.
right? So I'm not advocating just like a pump and dump freaking pickup artist type of mentality.
No.
But I would say, even with a good moral intention, right, I would still vet properly
Yeah,
and
that's
still
what I
not just fall for the first one,
Yep.
right? Because you have to understand, once again, too, I keep reminding everyone that the women now are not traditional anymore, even in these countries,
Yep.
right?
Very true.
And so it's just the reality, guys. As much as I would love to say, hey, prearranged marriage, date each other as your virgin, right? Like, it worked out for my wife and I get that, but this is
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
No.
The chances of that happening is very rare, right? Especially if she's better looking, high value, right? And if you're high value as well too, it's going to be a very rare chance that it works out.
Very true.
Any other advice you can think of, honey, at the end?
Nope. Just like I said, just vet them out. Get to know each other, like what we did. We got to know each other and everything else. Just don't, just don't go for the first person that gave you sweet words, because sweet words only can last for so long.
Well, not only
So,
that, but he was
get
saying
to know each other.
He was saying too that a lot of the women will give you sex, what you're looking for, right off the bat, because they know the game. I mean, like, these women understand the game. They know that their fidelity, their sex, is what's going to get them. And then a lot of these passport bros, because they're so thirsty and because they're so socially awkward dudes, they're just gonna fall for that first one that gives them poon, right?
Yeah, well.
So my point, like anything, like, this is why I say, you have to approach this game plan as a westernized modern man, right? And you have to see what else is she bringing to the table besides sex, right?
Well, let me tell you right now. Here's another advice. Easy come, easy go. If the girl is going to already give you sex already just in the first few dates, that means she is not really that interested in you, nor does she really value you, because
I would say
it's more for her to get to her plan B, which is trying to come over here, or sponsor her to get a better life. That's what I'm trying to say. So if a girl sort of cherishes you and wants to get to know you and not trying to sleep with you just on first date, first few weeks or whatever else, that means, hey, maybe she is serious about you. Maybe she cares about you. She actually is not just looking at, hey, I'm just trying to come over here. But she may actually go, hey, maybe this is this guy for me too. Maybe she'll cherish you even more. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk. I'll finish this video with this. What is your intention? If your intention is to go over there and actually get a wife, someone that's going to take care of your kids, right? Fulfill the truth, like we talk about on this channel all the time. The type of girl that's probably going to be best suited to give you that is someone that's not going to have sex with you right away, right? She's going to want you to kind of show what you're willing to give to her before getting the sex, right? So things, of course, that you have to look out for. First off, let's look at her values, right? Is she beautiful enough that you think it's worth it, right? Does she look physically to your standard that you want to get? And because you have so many options over there, right? There's a lot more women. Filter that out first, right?
Be careful where you're meeting.
Correct. Second,
careful.
see how does she obviously react around you before she gives up the sex, right? If she's literally just like, you know, like the modern woman where they make you go on a bunch of dates, right? Spend a lot of money, right? You got to take her out to this, take her out to this, give her all these experience, and she's still holding the sex from you without doing anything in return, then obviously the chances of her being a good wife is probably not, right? But let's say she's not giving you sex for the first few or several dates that you're doing, but she comes to a place and cleans up your place. She comes to your place and cooks you food, right? Her mannerisms around you are very feminine, very nurturing, very caring, right? Maybe she sees that you do, like, you know, you need something every morning. She grabs the paper, she grabs your slippers, she makes you coffee, right? So she can already see that she's giving you value besides the sex for the stuff that you're giving her, which is obviously the money, the experience, the restaurants, right? The whole courting process.
Well, the same thing is, though, honey, you have to know who you're meeting. You have to know, like, where you're meeting. If you're meeting a girl at a bar, you're meeting her at freaking some club.
Yeah, I mean, if
you
you're
know, she is
meeting
not
some
a good wife.
streetwalker or you met
whatever,
her
she's
as
not
a
a good
bar
wife.
girl, obviously the intention is just sex.
You know?
I'm giving you guys, Passport Bros, tangible things to look out for. Like I
So-
said, once again, with the premise that you're trying to marry someone, right?
Yeah.
So that's my point exact. So don't be discouraged that she's not giving you sex right away in the first few dates. My point is, what else is she bringing in those first few dates, right?
Yeah.
Is she taking, like I said, is she doing all those things I just mentioned to give you value, showing that she can care for you, showing that she can nurture you before you even spend all your money, right? Let's say you just take her out to a little quaint, you know, local restaurant, and she's already doing the dishes for you. She's already doing your laundry at your place. She's already cleaning up your apartment, right? She's already doing all those daily routine stuff that you know, that you didn't even have to ask her to do. Make your coffee, right? If she's doing all those things already and you've only taken to her like a freaking little local dive bar where you spent $20 on food, she's showing that, hey, you don't have to give up that much of your financial value for me to give you all this value,
But
right?
then you have to still be careful, though.
No, but my point is that's better than someone, right? That's better than someone where you had to take to a fancy restaurant.
I know.
Maybe you had to go take them to a freaking like a tourist area there, spend a bunch of money on shopping, right? And then on the third date, she sleeps with you, right?
I know,
So
honey.
my point is look for traditional responses versus modern responses, right? Because a modern girl would do that, right? Hey, take me to freaking, you know, the steakhouse, take me to the club, right? Spend all these drinks, take me on a shopping spree, and then I'll sleep with you on the third date, right? And then hook, line, sinker. So in essence, let's think about that pragmatically, guys, right? So she literally just said, hey, I'm willing to sleep with you if you spent all this money on me, right? Whereas the other girl, if you did, like I said, more of the traditional courting process, she was willing to do all these traditional wifey duties, and you only spent very little money on her, right? And you didn't have to take her to these nice places. And then she did finally sleep with you as well, too, in the hopes that you will take her to this next level.
Yeah.
So my point is she respects your value that you're giving each other, right? And no one is simping, for lack of better words, in the beginning, right? So I would say that would be things that you want to look out for.
Yeah.
Okay.
True
But hey, guys, thanks for checking us out again, this video. We'll be doing another live again, I'm sure, shortly. So go definitely check that out. We'll let you guys know. But we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Join us as we give you guys a glimpse into our lives, give you guys advice, hopefully give you guys entertainment value as well, too, and provide you guys better outcomes.
Yes.